Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. We know the Tab Constellations Winter Carnival is fast approaching, and again this Saturday night we've got a really strong program coming through here at Albion Park, headquarters of racing in Queensland. 9 races, early start as well, so just take note of that, starting well before 5 o'clock. So it's an early start, early finish, but it's a high quality program. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to speak with leading drivers Nathan Dawson and Leonard Cain. Another Saturday night, another busy night coming up for Nathan Dawson, the leading driver with several key runners to drive this weekend. He joins us now. Nathan, appreciate the time.
Good to be on, Chris.
Saving Major Percy, race 1. This is your first drive. Field of 9. He's got this second row draw to contend with. It looks a strong field on paper. Yeah,
it does. It probably looks a fraction tough for him. If something goes his way and the race is run upside down, he might be thereabouts, but on paper it probably looks a bit tough.
Is the fence the best spot to be in this race?
I think for him, he's not really a type of horse that likes to come wide. The wider he gets, probably the worse he is. So he likes the fence, so that's probably where we'll be heading.
It looks like it's going to generate good tempo, this field.
It does, So I think probably, someone who gets a good trip's probably going to be the one getting into it, but whether it's us or not, I don't know.
Okay. Race 2, which is the Open on Saturday night. As you would expect this time of year, it's a good quality field. Again, you've been slammed with a poor draw, the outside of the front row. Crunch Time is the horse in question. We know he's a very capable type, a very fast, speedy horse, but this is a bad draw, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. Even though he has good gate speed, there's plenty under him that can probably match him. So hopefully we can just find a spot somewhere and be finishing off. I think that's probably the best way to go.
You don't want a situation like last time out where you got left parked out?
No, I don't. He's pretty much, everyone knows what he's like now. When he finds the front, he's hard to beat, but if he gets caught out, he's a different horse.
Yeah, there is plenty of power to your inside. Scarlet Babe, the 1Equine, Deus Ex, Northview Hustler, if they want to, they can all run the gate, can't they?
Yeah, there's plenty of speed there. I think probably this week, probably be good just to try and find a spot there somewhere and be finishing off.
All right, well that's Crunch Time in race 2. Let's move across to race 3 now. Your drive here is Squire. This race on paper looks fairly open, and he's not out of it, Squire. He's actually going quite okay. So how do you rate his chances here?
Yeah, it's a pretty open race. His run last week was pretty good actually, considering the sections, and he come from behind, which probably isn't the best thing for him. So he's going well, and if we can get across there somewhere nice and handy, he's definitely in it.
If you light him up at the start, does he have the speed to get across?
It'll be close, whether I have enough to get over or I'll get it, half a length or not. But we'll be lighting him up and seeing where we end up.
Ideally, do you want to be in front?
Yeah, he grows a leg in front. That's the way he likes to race. He usually leads up and sets a pretty good tempo, so it's probably the spot to be with him.
But there's a number of runners in this field that you can make a case for, which sort of backs up my point. It's open, and luck in running is going to be a key part here.
Yeah, probably the horse who gets the best trips probably going to be the one that gets the chockies. But it's an open race, so it'll be interesting.
All right, race number 4, you're driving the Inform. There's a chance. He's got gate 1, it's a mile. He's chasing 3 on the bounce. This is a good drive.
It is a good drive to pick up. I hadn't driven him for a while, and I picked him up there last week, and he was too good. But saying that, it's probably a step up in grade. But as you said, good gate back to the mile, so he'll be in it.
Is it a simple plan of just trying to lead again here, or do you sort of contemplate handing over to a horse like Cashed Up? How do you see it?
Oh, he's a good front runner, but you don't want to be copping too much pressure. As I said, he's probably up in grade to what he has been racing, so at least drawing 1, you have options.
Yeah, you've certainly got options. You've got an Inform horse drawn directly behind you in Nick's pick, so it is a drive that you've got to drive carefully.
It is, you're right. You can't just go out there with one plan, or you kind of come undone. So you got to have a few options and then just see what your best one is as the race unfolds.
Okay, race number 5, roll 1 over. You're aboard this guy when he was able to score last time out. You gave him a sweet trip and he got the job done. Did that surprise you in any way, shape or form?
No, not really. He's been going quite okay with not a lot of luck. So he's a type of horse that loves that type of trip, and he got the good trip last week, and you know, he just got there on the line. So, no, it didn't really surprise me. I think, you know, it just worked out well.
So good draws and a good trip plays a key role for roll one over.
Yeah, it does. You know, he's probably like one of those battlers that, you know, he's not good enough to come around them, but when he's, you know, everything goes his way, he gets there.
This is probably a little harder looking at it on paper compared to what he beat last week.
Yeah, it is. You know, but he follows pretty good speed, so if I can find a good spot there somewhere, I'm sure he'll be in the top 5 somewhere.
Rock bottom street kid, are they the toughest to beat?
Yeah, I think so. Mr. Clean, going pretty good too. He's probably got the good drawers. So, you know, there's a few in there that are probably above me.
Okay. Let's move across to race 7, and this is the trot. Garland Green, he had that big handicap last week and did a pretty good job, all things considered, when 4th behind G Up Netty. Back to the mobile start. That's crucial for him.
Yeah, it is. His run last start was actually super, probably one of his better runs, I thought. So back to the mobile, you know, no chasing involved. So, you know, I think he should play a pretty big hand in that race.
Early scratching of Van Sank, that's quite crucial as well.
Yeah, it is. You know, he's a good horse and, you know, probably one less to chase down. So, no, it's definitely handy to have him out.
Okay, there's good confidence there with Garland Green. Your final drive on Saturday night is our Bondi Beach, again for trainer Greg Franklin. Comes up with a nice draw. How does he sort of sit in this field?
Yeah, you know, he's much like the others, that where he gets his good trip or he's there. So if he can get a good trip somewhere, you know, he always pops up at a bit of a price.
Is there any chance that he could head off a Hoka Jimmy at the start?
Nah, he's not blessed with gate speed, but he gets out okay. But, you know, I think the less he does early, he's probably, you know, plays into his hand.
Okay, so you've got to give him a good trip.
Yeah, the pressure's on Saturday night.
Yeah, by the sound of it. The pick of your drives at this point?
Probably, you know, roll one over. He's going well, and Garland Green, you know, I was pretty happy with him last week off his big handicap in pretty good time.
Okay, we'll take the tip there. Race 7, number 9. Nathan, as always, appreciate the time. Best of luck on the weekend.
Thanks, Chris.
Leonard Cain joins us now to go through his book of drives on Saturday night at Albion Park, and he's in the hot seat. Leonard, appreciate the time.
No problem at all, Chris. Thank you.
You've got some good drives here on the weekend. We start with race 3, your old favourite, Mr. Freeze. This is a big class drop for him.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Getting into the 2nd division of that race there on Saturday night's awesome for him, you know. Comes out with a fairly good draw as well. We've got options as well because we're a sole second line runner. So, no, that looks an exciting race for him. Like you say, it's a big drop back and I'm expecting big things from him.
Last week he took on the Flashing Red, the race won by Max Shard. Probably wasn't ideal the way that race played out for Mr. Freeze. Wasn't away cleanly, and then it was a bit rough and tumble towards the latter part of the race, but he's come out of it well, obviously, because he starts this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, he's come through that run well. Like you said, he sort of scratched away a little bit and then copped a shove around the turn and sort of got off the bit and went through a bit of a flat spot and didn't finish off all the best. But no, he's pulled out well, he's thriving and his work's been good, so we're expecting him to run a real good race.
As you said, you're the only runner off the second row here on Saturday night. Looking at that front line, it's hard to sort of predict an early leader. There's a few that can get off the gate, but I think the best thing for Mr. Freeze, it is going to generate good early tempo.
Yeah, for sure, yeah, and that'll, you know, like you said, that'll suit him. So, no, I don't think we're too worried there. We'll sort of just drive it as we see it, I think.
All right, race number 4, again for Jack Butler. You're going to team up with Obi-Wan. You sat behind this guy recently at Redcliffe, and his recent efforts have been good. I know he's struggling to get across the line. He's had a number of chances, but he is still going well. Yeah, for sure, yeah. No, there's been a lot of merits in his runs, and you know, like you say, he's been racing really well, and I think he's got a bit of an awkward draw there on Saturday night, but if we can cop a nice trip, I think he'll be right there in the finish. You know, he's ultra consistent, so expecting big things from him as well. I'm glad you said it. It does look awkward, gate 6, and you've got a few of those favourite runners drawn in close, like There's a Chance and Cashed Up, so you will need to give him a good trip from that gate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, obviously we'll need a little bit of luck, but I don't think he's out of it, so hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. Okay. He does have good change-up speed, so that's a plus for him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, like you say, you know, he's got a good turn of foot, so that's obviously on his side, so hopefully we can use it. Race 5 on Saturday night. Again, you team up with Can't Refuse. He backs up from Tuesday. How did you assess that run?
Yeah, you know, his run there on Tuesday I didn't think was all that bad. You know, I worked away from the fence there on the first turn, you know, with ideas just to sit quiet and hopefully outdo him late. But the way the race was run, you know, the leader fired up and, you know, it was quite quick. So he had a pretty tough trip, but I don't think it'll worry him. You know, he's a tough sort of horse, so I think he'll show up again on Saturday.
The major plays in this race look to be It's Mr. Clooney coming out of the flashing red, went well, rock bottom, you drove him last week, no luck, and Street Kid who's been a runner-up his last two, so they look the toughest to beat?
Yeah, for sure, yeah, no, it's a very good race, but with the right sort of run he'll feature.
Okay, let's go across to race 7. This is the trot, just a bit noisy. He's flying, this guy, week in, week out, just puts in 110%.
Oh, absolutely, you know, a little bit of luck and he'll be winning, you know, he... like you say, he turns up week in, week out. You know, he very rarely misses the top 3. So, you know, he's a great horse to be on, and I'm looking forward to him again on Saturday night for sure. The
way he's going at the moment, is he better suited under these mobile start conditions, or do you think he's better suited to the stand like last week's race?
I don't think it really worries him either way. You know, he does begin well from the stand, and he also begins quite quick from a mobile. But, you know, I think either way there's sort of... either way, I don't think there's one sort of start type that, you know, like he prefers. I think he's pretty good from both of them. But, you know, with a decent draw from a mobile, obviously, you know, it brings you into the race a lot more, I think.
Okay. Van Sank's a really important early scratching from that race, so that's a good thing for you.
Oh, for sure, you know, that's great. So, like I said, if we can get a good trip, you know, I think he'll be right there. Well, he'll be right there in the finish regardless, but he's not far away from another win, I don't think.
Okay. Race 8, Mosem down again for Jack Butler. How do you think this guy looks placed in this field?
Yeah, you know, I think it's quite an even field. Obviously, we're going to need a little bit of luck, and his last run, you know, showed a lot more merit again, so... He was a little bit unlucky late, but he had a good trip on the fence and worked through the middle late and sort of got held up right on the line. I was quite impressed with last start, so I think that sort of gives you a little bit more confidence going into this week. Like I say, if we sort of get a good trip, that's going to play into our hands a lot because it is quite an even field.
If you pumped him off the arm, could he lead this field?
Look, I think he could, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, he has got good turn of foot out the gate, so there's every possibility. Yeah,
he'd be hard to beat over the mile here if he was able to find the front.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Well, they're your drives on Saturday night. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Look, I'd have to go with the old trotter, just a bit noisy, you know. He's ultra consistent, so he's probably the pick of the bunch, I think.
Okay, for Dougie Lee, race 7, number 3, just a bit noisy. Leonard, as always, really appreciate the time. Best of luck.
No worries. Thanks very much, Chris.
A big thanks, as always, to our drivers, Nathan Dawson and Leonard Cain, giving up their time and thoughts ahead of their drives this weekend. We wish them the best of luck. As I said, it's a 9-race program looking for a good thing. We're going to focus on the trot race, the Mobile Start PSP Trot, and I'm keen on the chances of Sir Fahrenheit. He's the reigning trotter of the year. He's had 2 runs back. He's coming in hot. I think he can score third up here. Race 7, number 6, Sir Fahrenheit, marking him the best bet on the program. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. Bet with your head not over it. We'll see you trackside with an early start this weekend.